because as soon as you start talking, everyone just suddenly looks and listens. It's you've got a gift, so keep it up.
Thank you so much for those kind words, and thank you for both of you who have gone before me. There's a gift that comes in our presence. And it isn't what we do. It isn't when we were born. In my mind, I love what Raquel has been talking about. I love that Sharon, is it Sharon? Yes, has said that how important it is to be grateful. But in my life, what I saw, and the thing that pained me the most, was how few people actually knew themselves. My story starts around the death of my father. He was my hero. I was a mini-me to him before mini-me's were even known. I was a 3-foot version of a 6-foot version, and we looked the same, we walked the same, we waddled the same, we smiled the same, our hand gestures were the same. He was my hero. And when I was 13 years old, he passed away with no warning signs. My mom was so in love with him that 2 years later, on the same day at exactly the same time, she died also. So by the time I was 15, I had lost my heroes, and I had lost the people that had held me and loved me no matter what I had done. And I asked the adults, where are my parents? Where'd they go? And they told me they went to a place called heaven. So as a young boy, I set out to find heaven. Really what I meant to find was my purpose. What's the purpose? What's life mean? Why in the world would a little boy who's been so protective and so sheltered by the love of his parents suddenly not have that anymore? Life gave me amazing opportunities. Opportunities that most people would have thought were heaven on earth. And my book, The Mosaic, is really the story of those opportunities. I didn't write the book, though. I tried to write the book. It took me 3 years to write a book that I thought would take 8 weeks to write. I would write it, and I'm an old guy, but I know how to save a file. I would write the chapter and I would save the file. I would wake up in the morning, the file wasn't there. Nowhere could I find it. It was gone. And so I would sit down for a little while and I would write it again, and I would try and capture what I captured, and sometimes I wrote it better and sometimes I wrote it worse, but I would try and save it again. And I would save it, and then the file would tell me it's corrupted. Finally, my wife is younger than I said, baby, will you come and maybe save these files? I don't know what I'm doing. I must be, technically crazy. I can't figure out how to save a file that I know how to save. And so she would save the files for me, and miraculously they would get saved when she did it. It was just something that was happening. And the book was almost entirely written. And I woke up the next morning, I turned my computer on, and my computer had completely crashed. I went, oh my God, I've lost 3 years of work. I went to the store and I said, surely you'll be able to figure out how to save those files and bring them. They were saved. Every file on my computer they could bring back, but my book was gone. They couldn't find one way to bring my book back. Now, these characters were based on characters that I met over the course of my life, but they were mythological characters. So I had an idea. I didn't go on StreamYard, but I sort of called them together for a Zoom call. And I invited them to come before me and have a conversation with me. I'm a guy. This is not like, I don't talk to mediums and channels and do all that type of stuff. But somehow I felt like it was important for me to try and talk with them. And one by one, they appeared on my Zoom screen. Imaginatory. And I said to him, why in the world aren't you letting me write this book? Why are you taking it away from me? What's going on? What is happening? And they said, Danny, you're not listening to us. What you're saying is not what we want you to say. I said, I'm sorry. With all due respect, you're my characters. I made you up. I created you. I should have the liberty to write your dialogue. I should be able to say what I want you to say as my characters in my book. Don't you think that's fair? They said, absolutely, you can do that. We'll be here another 5 years and we still won't let you publish it. I said, so what do you want? They said, I want you to listen to what we're saying. Write what we're saying. And if you do, your book will be done in 30 days. I said, you're kidding me. Okay, deal. I'm so frustrated. I had black hair and a black beard when I started. So I was so frustrated. I said, this is absolutely crazy. Go for it. 30 days to the day, my book was done. In that moment, I realized something outrageous. I realized that the whole world is speaking to us. Everything is speaking to us. Our bodies are speaking to us. Our businesses are speaking to us. Our workplace is speaking to us. Our own inner voice is speaking to us, but so few of us are listening to what the voices are saying. If I would have just listened to them, I wouldn't have had to go through 3 years of this painstaking. I would wake up in the middle of the night screaming in anguish, where is that file? Like, what happened to it? Where is it? I saved it. And the message it wanted to tell me was that the world needs to have an ambassador of listening. We need to start a revolution of listening. The Mosaic is about listening. I was a bit of a snob. I turned away from running a multi-billion-dollar company because I wanted to find inner peace and happiness. And I hitchhiked on the road. I only associated with certain people that were high vibration. I only went to restaurants where they cooked food a certain way. And the characters I was writing about in this book were common, ordinary people. They were a trash man, and a blind woman, and a homeless man, and a road worker. And I thought, what the heck are these characters doing in my book? But when I sat with each one of them and I listened to them tell me their story, what I realized is the person that I saw was not at all the one that I initially saw. They were completely different. And when it happened to me in that moment, I started to ask myself, is anything in the world the way I see it, or is everything is it me just seeing the world the way I see it? Do I see anything the way it is? And the message of the Mosaic is nothing is as it seems. Try that mantra on for size. Try looking at the world that you know and say, it's not that way. It's different. The story is an amazing, amazing story. It's beautiful. They wrote it way better than I would. But one of the reasons why they wrote it way better than I did is because I was only writing the words to the story. They wrote a story in the spaces between the words as well. The space, the quiet between our words tells amazing, amazing stories. I can't wait to hear how you experience the Mosaic. The fact that you're on here right now means the Mosaic has found you. Whether you decide to engage with it or not is your choice. But it's found you. It's welcomed you into its beautiful artistry. I look forward to hearing how we connect. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you. This is Daniel, and I'm out.